Welcome back, everybody, to the deep dive.
Yeah.
So today, we're diving into the life of someone who you might think, Barron Trump.
Okay. Yeah.
Now, he's in his late teens, spent his formative years under intense media scrutiny.
Right.
And he's just starting to share his own perspective with the world.
Right.
We got our hands on this fascinating virtual interview.
Oh, wow.
Where he opens up about his passions, anxieties, and hopes for the future.
Cool.
So get ready, because we're about to deep dive into the mind of someone who could have chosen the spotlight, but decided on a different path.
Yeah, it's a really unique opportunity to understand how someone from such a high-profile family navigates their own identity, especially in today's world.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And right from the start, you can sense that Barron values his privacy.
Yeah.
He talks about growing up feeling constantly watched, even in his own home.
I can imagine.
Which led him to crave spaces where he could just be himself.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
That's such a crucial point, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, it challenges the assumption that someone growing up in his circumstances would automatically embrace the public eye.
Right.
It speaks to a deeply personal need for boundaries and self-definition.
It does make you think, how would you handle that level of constant attention?
Oh, absolutely.
But here's the thing. While he values privacy, he's not hiding away from the world.
No.
He's actually incredibly passionate about technology.
Oh, wow.
And its potential to solve global challenges.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
And he's not just talking about the latest gadgets or anything like that. He specifically mentioned AI's potential in personalized learning.
Right.
And how blockchain could make supply chains more transparent and sustainable.
Yeah.
There's a real sense of wanting to use tech for good.
Yes.
Yeah.
He even compared it to how past generations embraced movements like the Peace Corps.
Oh.
A desire to use their skills to make a positive impact.
Right.
It reminds me of, mention a young tech entrepreneur known for social impact initiatives.
Oh, yeah.
Who's also using their platform to tackle these big issues.
Yeah. While privacy is important, some might argue that someone with Barron's platform has a responsibility to be more visible and advocate for causes.
Yeah.
What do you think? Does his approach resonate with you?
That's a great question for our listeners to ponder.
Yeah.
And it actually leads perfectly into the next big theme of this interview.
Yeah.
Social media.
Right.
Barron acknowledges both the good and the bad. The potential for connection.
Yeah.
But also the pressures and distorted reality it can create.
Right. He makes a particularly interesting point about how social media often presents a filtered version of reality, which can lead to feelings of inadequacy and pressure to conform.
He even admits that he doesn't share much about his personal life online.
Really?
Because he values his privacy. It's a choice that not many people in his position make.
Yeah.
Which makes it all the more thought-provoking.
It is.
Yeah.
It's a reminder that we all have the power to choose how we engage with these platforms. And that authenticity doesn't require constant online validation.
And you know what that actually leads us to? His biggest piece of advice.
Oh.
For anyone wanting to succeed on social media.
It's refreshing to hear someone his age push back against those expectations.
Yeah, he basically says, be genuine, even if it means going against the grain.
Right.
Which I think is so important in a world obsessed with likes and followers.
Absolutely. It raises an important point about the difference between true connection and simply seeking approval online.
Right.
Yeah, it's something we can all reflect on in our own social media use.
And it makes you wonder if growing up under such intense scrutiny has actually given him a clearer perspective on what really matters.
Perhaps it's certainly possible that experiencing the downsides of fame firsthand has fostered a deeper appreciation for genuine connection and a desire to make a real difference in the world.
Which brings us to another fascinating point you mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
Education being a passion of his.
Yes. He seems really drawn to the idea of making quality education accessible to everyone.
It almost feels like a conscious choice to focus on empowering others.
Right.
Rather than seeking power for himself.
Exactly. And that's what makes his story so compelling.
Yeah.
He's challenging our assumptions and showing us that there's always more than meets the eye.
And that his focus on sustainability also speaks to a sense of responsibility towards the future.
Yeah, like he's saying, hey, I'm not just inheriting this world.
Right.
I'm inheriting its problems too, and I want to be part of the solution.
That's powerful.
Yeah.
And it connects back to his interest in technology, doesn't it? He sees the potential for tech to address these global challenges.
Absolutely. He even mentioned exploring how AI could be used to personalize learning experiences and make education more engaging and effective.
That's something I'd love to hear more about.
Yeah.
It sounds like he's thinking way beyond just traditional classroom settings.
He is, and it's interesting to see this focus on impact rather than traditional power structures. It does make you wonder if this is a generational shift.
Right.
Are we seeing a move away from the pursuit of power and towards a desire to make a tangible difference in the world?
It's a question worth exploring further.
Yeah.
But one thing's for sure, Barron is a young man with a lot to offer the world. He's intelligent, thoughtful, and driven by a desire to make a positive impact.
And he's doing it all on his own terms, staying true to his values and forging his own path. That's something we can all learn from, regardless of our background or circumstances.
So as we deep dive into the quietest corner of one of the loudest families, we get a surprisingly grounded perspective.
Yeah, it really is refreshing to see someone like Barron, who could easily chase fame and fortune, choosing to focus on things that genuinely matter. It really does speak volumes about his character.
Yeah.
Not letting his last name define him. You know, he's forging his own path and defining success on his own terms.
It's not just talk.
No.
You can feel the sincerity in his words.
Yeah.
He's clearly put a lot of thought into what he wants to achieve and how he wants to contribute to the world.
His interest in sustainability in education, particularly his vision for using AI to personalize learning, suggests a deep commitment to creating a better future. It's a far cry from what we might traditionally associate with his family name.
Right. It almost feels like he's consciously choosing to build a legacy. That's the antithesis of what people might expect.
Yeah.
It's like he's saying, look, I'm not defined by the past.
Right.
I'm going to use my privilege and my passions to make a real difference.
And that's what makes this deep dive so compelling for you, listener.
Yeah.
Barron's story challenges our assumptions and reminds us that there's always more than meets the eye. It encourages us to look beyond labels and to recognize the potential for positive change in unexpected places.
Absolutely. It's a reminder that we should never judge a book by its cover, or in this case, a person by their family name.
Precisely. Barron's journey underscores the power of individual choice, the importance of authenticity, and the potential for each of us to make a positive impact regardless of our background.
So in a world that often feels dominated by noise and superficiality, Barron Trump's story offers a refreshing dose of quiet wisdom and genuine purpose.
It's a reminder that true influence isn't about shouting the loudest. It's about the substance you bring to the table and the positive changes you create in the world around you.
Thinking about what we've learned about Barron's focus on privacy and his passion for using technology to solve global challenges.
Right.
How can you apply those values to create a more authentic online presence for yourself?
Yeah.
And what steps can you take to leverage technology for good in your own life?
Share your thoughts in the comments and let's continue this conversation.
Until next time, keep diving deep.